Welcome back to Platinum Eagle Podcast, where we always keep it platinum and we always represent our Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, y'all, this was a crazy game. It was crazy because it didn't have to be. It was crazy because the Siriani made it crazier and wilder and harder and rougher than it has to be. Please excuse me a little bit because I'm a little bit upset. Even though I'm happy about the win, I'm upset about how things transpired in this game. First, I want to talk about these future referees. Remember, I always said that the referees cheat against the Eagles every chance they get. They do. They do. I promise you they do. The Cowboys, I watched the Cowboys game before that. They was giving Cowboys favorable calls. Yeah, they called penalties against the Cowboys, but it wasn't like it was against the Eagles. First of all, there was barely no holding calls on the Jaguars. I can say this almost every week. Almost every week I can say this. Like, they hardly ever call any holding calls on the other team, but they always make sure they call it against the Eagles. I'm not saying always. I see sometimes we get away with holds, but it's crazy how every week it seems like the calls goes against us all the time, and it's lopsided just about every single game. I personally don't want to get any favors. If it's calls that goes against us, let it go against us. If it's fair. If there's no calls that go against us, I'm a rock with it because I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I'm like, damn, we was holding or we was this, that, and other thing, but I'm sure glad they didn't call it. But when it's calls against the other team or no calls that should be called, I get upset about that because, I want to see a fair game. I know they got a hidden agenda, and I always go on record by saying that I believe that the NFL is rigged through officiating. Yes, I'm so engulfed in being a Philadelphia Eagles fan that I watch it, even so that's the case. I believe that's the case. So again, the fumble, that was really no fumble at all, with Saquon Barkley. They clearly could see, and he looked at it again. They didn't look at the replay necessarily, but they see it up top. If they show the replay on the game, they were saying the same thing most of us Eagles fans were saying, whereas there was nothing to suggest that Saquon Barkley really slipped on his own. He slipped because his leg was tangled up a little bit by, the defender. Don't remember who the guy was. I really didn't check that out. But you can clearly see that after he touched his leg, you didn't see it in the regular, in action when it actually first happened. But as soon as they showed it on a replay, and I'm sure the referees saw it on a replay before they confirmed that it was a fumble, that it was not a fumble. If that was the opposite way around, and the Eagles made the dude, slap the dude's leg, and he ended up falling because of the tangling of the leg, they would have certainly said, that was no fun. That was a fumble. I'm sorry, that was no fumble, and you can go ahead and give the ball back to the other opposing team, opposing the Philadelphia Eagles. But it just seemed like, I'm not crazy. I know what I'm talking about. And another one, when it was a fourth down play, we do the brotherly shove, and I'm gonna get into Siriani here in a minute too. The brotherly shove. I don't like the tush push. It sounds not so manly. Okay, and it's a manly sport. At the goal line, you can see you can see it. I mean, everybody can see that he actually crossed the plane. The officials were saying they believe he crossed the plane. Not the officials, I'm sorry. The commentators. They said that, they think he got across the line. They thought that, just like we thought, it should be a touchdown. I'm sorry, a 2-point conversion. Even though it should have been called in the first place. We'll talk about that here in a second. Matter of fact, let's talk about it right now. Nick Siriani, and I try to take up for the guy. Like I said, I like him as a person. I like him as a motivational speaker. But if I'm being honest, that's all that man is a motivational speaker. He is not, and I repeat again, he is not a NFL football head coach. He's not. Maybe for the Cowboys, maybe for the Giants, maybe for the Washington team, he would be great for those guys. But for Philadelphia Eagles, and for us, and coaching for us, he's not it. He's not it. There's a such thing as being aggressive. He's not aggressive. He is, how do I put this nicely? because I like talking behind people's back, but I hope you do see this video one day. He's fickle-minded, put it that way, to say it nicely. 9 points off the board because he wanted to go for the shove. One time, okay, he got it, but the referees cheated him, and he kind of deserved it because he shouldn't have went for it in the first place. He should have let the kicker, our kicker, instead of icing the kicker the whole game long, expect him to hit a 57-yarder. He should have had him kicking those points after the touchdown, the PATs. But instead, what he does is he goes for points, 2-point conversions. They don't even have a point on the board. I can see if they have points on the board, perhaps, but they don't even have a point on the board. He goes for the first one, misses it, even though he got it. You know, like I said, Hurts did go through the line. He did break the plane. As you can see last week, he did the same thing. I think he was even more breaking the plane this week than he did last week. Of course, I know it's different referees officiating, but they say we don't get it. Okay, whatever. We'll go forward. We would say, okay, well, he learned from this. He learned from the last times that he actually tried to go for. But before even that, you know what I'm saying? He iced the kicker with the field goal. So instead of kicking a field goal, and instead of the 4th and 3, I think it was, he goes, he goes for it. That's 3 points off the board. Again, total of 9 altogether because he went for the, instead of going for field goal twice, he went for it on the 4th down and ended up not getting it. And he ended up going for the brotherly shove 3 times and not getting none of them. He really got one of them. I'm gonna keep saying that because he actually got that. Referees got that wrong. And I think they was purposely making sure they cheated us every way they can. I believe that personally. I can't nobody make me think otherwise than that right there. But then the second time he goes for it, I'm like, oh gosh, here we go again. You know what I'm saying? What happened to kicking the point after? Still, they have no points on the board. They have no points on the board. Am I the only one saying this? I don't get paid a dime. You don't get paid a dime for being a spectator of the sport. We just know better. And we know better not getting paid than a guy who's getting paid and not going for the obvious, decision to kick the field goals. So he iced the kicker all game long, and then when, remind me of what game was that? It was, what game was that? Tampa Bay? We played Tampa Bay, and he iced the kicker all game long, and the same thing happened. We missed a 61-yarder or something like that. Gosh, I just don't understand this guy here. You know what I'm saying? We can do much better than what we got. He's the cancer that we need to cut out that team. And I hate to say fire anybody because, for me, I'm a working man. I understand how important it is to get, make money for your family. And, but if I'm being honest, if I'm doing a job and I'm not doing the job right, and there has been a couple of jobs that I was like that. I was doing the job, and I tried my hardest, and for lack of lack of trying, I couldn't. I could have, but I just wasn't. I wasn't adding up. I wasn't the person that actually was great for that job. So you got to get somebody who is, and I understood it 1,000%. I wasn't upset. I just found another job and kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think they should do with him. Maybe for college, he would be great for that. For the NFL, he's not. He's not it, especially for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's not it. Our fan base deserves a lot much better than that, and he's not doing the small things that adds up to wins. He's supposed to be in this game here 37-23. Not even worried about losing the game at all. Not even have to bat an eye about losing the game. Not even have to worry, not getting our blood pressure up. None of that. But those dumb decisions cost us. Just like they cost us losing our second week game. You can say that we were a Saquon Barkley drop away from, being 8-1, 6-1, 7-1 now. But I personally believe that we're Jake Elliott based on the decision or not decision for letting Jake Elliott kick the field goal in that Atlanta Falcons game. We're that away from, Saquon Barkley did drop the ball, and we could have probably got a first down at least in that game and, went ahead and, for at least 4 times try to get in the end zone. We would have gotten the end zone. I'd have bet a whole lot of money, and I'm not a betting man, that we would have did that. That we would have scored there without a problem and won that game convincingly. So that's enough for Sirianni right now, because everybody's gonna be beating him up, and he deserved it. The fans was booing in the stands, and I was right there at home. If I could have booed loud enough that he could hear me, I'd have booed too. You know what I'm saying? He don't like being booed. Well, stop doing stupid stuff to get booed. Again, I'm gonna move on. Fumble recovery. Like I said, that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Saquon Barkley definitely did not fumble the ball. But I will say one good thing about it, since I'm talking about the bad, and I'm gonna go into some good. I just want to get the bad out the way. It was our first quarter touchdown with Saquon Barkley. That was a beautiful dart, by Jalen Hurts to get to Saquon Barkley to get in the end zone. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about the back hop. I like hip hop, but I love that back hop. You know what I'm saying? That back hop was dope. You know what I'm saying about Saquon Barkley, along with the spin that he put on the man first. Put on one defender, a spin, then he back hopped over him, and then he got tackled. I mean, that's crazy. I don't think I've seen anything like that. In fact, I know I haven't seen anything like that ever since I've been watching NFL football. Of course, we've seen over and over again some wonderful hops over, the other players, the defenders, that was, amounting to, first down, or sometimes even probably once or twice, even a touchdown. Anyway, Saquon Barkley's that dude, you know what I mean? And even if he did fumble the ball, I can't beat that man up, because he is definitely one of the bright spots of our season this year. Saquon Barkley, the guy, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give him credit where credit is due. Credit is due. The guy definitely deserves to play in our Philadelphia Eagles stadium as a Philadelphia Eagle, and I'm glad he got a touchdown, as the first touchdown as a Philadelphia Eagle in our stadium. What more can I say about Saquon Barkley? You know what I'm saying? I'll let everybody else, go in and, talk about how great the guy is and how good the guy put it down for us. And I'm so glad that we have him on our team and not the wretched Giants. Another fourth down stop for Cooper DeJean, which I thought was great. Cooper DeJean, he didn't play the best game, but at the same time, he did definitely, he did his thing, like fourth down stops. I mean, it looked like it was a quarterback sneak that Cooper DeJean came in there and popped the offensive ball carrier, stops him on a fourth down. Like I said, you got to love that. Defensively, I think we played a pretty good game up until like the second half, like the second and third quarter, or third and fourth quarter. We started letting some things slide. It seemed like Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence started getting some momentum with his team, and they actually made the game way closer than it had to be, like I said, due to Nick Siriani. But he played his butt off, and Doug P, I miss Doug P. In fact, I really wish that we never got rid of him. I understand the Philadelphia Eagles head front office not wanting to keep the guys that he wanted to keep at the time. So if I'm him, I'd be like, okay, you don't have to fire him. If I'm, the upper management, if I'm them, I would be like, wait, you don't have to fire him, I'll fire him myself. I'm gonna keep you around, but I'm firing those guys, you know what I mean? So I'd have got them out of the building, because I don't, of course, at least one of them over there is with him in Jacksonville, and you already see what's happening in Jacksonville. Even though they're pretty much in every game, that they're playing, they're pretty much in the thick of things. We pretty much made things harder for ourselves. It ain't us. It was actually more so the coach, as I keep alluding to. AJ Brown getting injured. I hate it. I don't know what it is. Hopefully it's nothing that's too serious, but it does seem like that he might be out for about another 2-3 games. Hopefully not the whole season, because we definitely could use him on the field. He's definitely a difference maker. I'm so glad that we actually gave Jahan Dotson a little bit of shine today. He did his thing on the catch that he had to make. He bobbled it, but he brought it to his chest. And, he definitely, I thought it was probably a drop, until I actually seen the replay. But I'm so glad that we did incorporate him into the game plan finally. So that's another thing I wanted to go over real quick before I, because I had to gloss over it, because it's not like we went to him again and again and again. We only, went to him one time. And Cooper DeJean also got a third down stop that I thought was really good. On the next drive, like I said, Nick Siriani goes for these field goals. Instead of going for field goals, he keeps, doing everything that he can to make it, easier for the opposition. And that's the whole thing. That's the thing that I disagree with, really, about the decision to go for it all the time. Jacksonville, say what you will about Jacksonville. They have a front seven that's gritty. If anything, that's the best part of their team. The front seven, those guys are tough. Those guys get in the backfield, they're disruptive. They, I don't know how good they are as far as sacks go. I know that Trayvon Walker, I believe that's his name, he has about 6 or something like that sacks. I would like for Howie Roseman to pick him up. That'd be a great pickup for us. On a what they call that trading. I can't even think of. Pardon me. For the trade, it'd be a great trade for us if we can actually acquire him from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh yeah, speaking of which, that run that he got back on that weak ass call that was supposed to be a fumble, him running back the ball back, that was great. The guy, like I said, Mr. Walker, he did everything but walked it into the end zone. I hated to see it, but that's kind of what we get when we have poor officiating, and they like to see us lose, so they do everything that they can in their power to make us lose or try to see if we can lose. But beating them and the referees was kind of good. It was still cool. But again, the fashion we had to do it because of us taking points off the board. Oh yeah, like I said, the second time, I got to keep bringing this up because it pissed me off the whole game. You take points off the board after Jake Elliott kicked the field goal, and you're like, no. And I think they actually baited Siriani into, because they knew that he's aggressive and they knew that he wanted to go for it. That he would have probably went for it. So I think that the defensive penalty was more so in place for us to take the bait, and Siriani, just what he did. He went and took the bait and went for the 2-point conversion instead when he should have kicked the field goal. But, like I said, you icing your kicker the whole game and expect him to come clutch for you at the end of the game. That's poor coaching. That's poor decision making, and it's poor coaching. But that's enough of that. I'm on record by saying you re-sign Zach Bond to an extension. Zach Bond, tackles, he's all over the field. Like, this guy here, he's different. You know what I'm saying? And who would have thought? I didn't think, you know what I'm saying? In fact, I didn't hear anything about him so much until we picked him up and until Fangio was talking about how great he was, or, pretty much, bigging him up without us seeing a snap from him. I think that, that was a great acquisition on the offseason, Zach Bond. So, yeah, in my opinion, you sign him as quick as possible, and hopefully he keep playing at a great level, because he is, you can kind of say he's like the heart and soul of that defense. He's all over the field. He's tackling, he's playing like his hair is burnt off because he's bald headed, right? But that's my guy. I'm bald headed too, you know what I'm saying? We rock the baldies, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, the guy, Zach Bond, he's a breath of fresh air on that defense. He was all over the place when the game first started. ETN couldn't get even a couple yards for a while. He was all over that guy. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who actually got the ball running, he wasn't having it. And speaking of linebackers, since we go on there, Nakobe Dean. We bashed Nakobe Dean, not so much y'all to hear from me, because I don't really, I didn't think that he had really a chance to really show himself for a while, because of the injuries. He had so many injury problems. And if we was upset about that, I totally understood that, because you hate to see a rookie come in with so much promise and so much hype around him, and then, he's injured this week. He played for about a half a game. He's injured again, and he plays, he plays a little bit, the regular preseason games. He get injured again, I think, this year. And you just, after a while, you think, okay, well, we got to probably do something different, because this guy, he keeps getting injured. We don't even know if the guy can play or not, because he's not standing on the field. But I'm so glad that we got him on our team. I'm so glad he came up clutch, because I just knew we was going to lose this game after we gave him the ball back with, I think, 3 or so minutes to go, or it was 2 minutes or so, something to go, almost 3 minutes. I just knew we was going to lose this game, because, defense, it was reminiscent of the Atlanta Falcons game when, you already know the last drive when Kirk Cousins had the ball with seconds to go and marched down the field with 3 plays and ended up in the end zone with his team winning the game. And so I thought it was going to be more or less like that, but I'm so glad that Trevor Lawrence threw the ball to Nakobe Dean. Most people would have thought than Nakobe Dean, and he probably thought Nakobe Dean can cover, you know, his wide receiver, but he covered him and then some. He actually got the ball, and that's the end of that game. If it wasn't for him in that instance, bailing Nick Siriani out, you know, I'm sure he's giving him everything that he needs as far as praise and all that stuff. Nick Siriani giving that to Nick, can't even think. So Nick Siriani is giving that to my boy Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean did his thing out there, you know what I mean? So, you know, you didn't see and hear too much about him until that. He made a couple plays before that, but that was the play of plays of today. So I definitely want to give him kudos and shout outs to my man Nakobe Dean. Shout outs to the linebackers. They keep doing their thing week in and week out. So I'm definitely glad to see that. Now I'm going to end it off with the sacks because, you know, the sacks was only 2 of them. We got close to Trevor Lawrence a few times, but we couldn't get to him to bring him down. Not because he was so elusive, because the offensive line, even with the injuries they was dealing with, they actually did a pretty good job at stopping us. But again, I don't think too highly of our defensive front, so that's another reason why I would like to get Trayvon Walker, because we need some help at the end. Some people say we need help at linebacker. I personally don't think so. You know, we still got one guy sitting and you know, sitting and waiting for his chance to get a chance to play. Hopefully, it's not due to injury. Hopefully, it's because we beaten a team so bad that we put them in just to see what we got. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You know, what's my man's name? I can't say y'all don't talk. I can't remember his name. What's his name? The junior, Jeremiah Trotter, too, junior. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I think he has a lot of promise as well, you know. So y'all gonna have to pardon me. I'm all over the place. My mind's all scatterbrained. I'm like that every day, all the time. But at the same time, you know, I be knowing what I'm talking about. I just be having name problems and, you know, sometimes having the same problem with getting words out of my mouth at the same time of, you know, what I'm thinking of. I'm trying to get the words I'm trying to think of out of my mouth at the time I need to get it out. Anyway, those sacks by Sweat were great. They was right on time. They was right on schedule. Wish we could have got more, you know, but, you know, it is what it is. We did get the win. Again, it should have been reading off the end 37-23. And actually, one of those touchdowns shouldn't even count anyway. It should be 16, actually, because, again, that fumble was no fumble. But according to the referees, because they wanted to see what they wanted to see, more than likely, that's what it was. And it is what it is. But like I said, I want to go ahead and thank y'all for watching the video. I want y'all to do me a favor, hit me with the fire emoji if y'all watched it and got this far. Hit me with the fire emoji because, you know what I'm saying, oh yeah, the fire and the flames with the Philadelphia Eagles logo. Or, you know how we do it. Fly Eagles fly. I said enough of them. Kept y'all time enough. Let's rock with it. One.